Hello, everybody, again to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Francisco, hello, how are you doing?
Hola, Jorge, doing great. How about yourself?
Well, I'm very cheered up today because we're going to talk something that's got a lot of relationship with me.
Okay. Well, we'll get some music and then let's see, Jorge, what's with you?
Okay, let's get some music.
Okay, Jorge, let us know what does today's topic have to do with you?
Well, I mean, you're going to lead the voice today because we're going to talk about a saint. You are the
Ooh.
master of the saints. Saint Jordi, San Jorge, Saint
Jorge,
George.
Saint
What's my
Jorge.
name? Jorge. I feel very identified with not the saint, but the festivity itself. That's all I have to say about it. Now the microphone is yours, Francisco.
Okay,
So we
okay.
said already Saint George. Who was Saint George? Or let us know a little bit of a history.
Okay.
You decide. Tell us.
So, what we're going to be talking today is about the myth of Sant Jordi. Sant Jordi,
Mhm.
it's Catalan saint, which is not, okay, but it's
Well,
a
it's
big
a patron
tradition.
saint of many
It's a
places.
patron saint, yes. I mean, it's not a Catalan saint, but it's a huge tradition. It's very rooted in the tradition of Catalonia, Barcelona, and the separatist movement. But Sant Jordi, St. George, we can find him many places. We're going to find him in all around Spain, in Portugal, in
UK,
Georgia,
in the
in the
UK.
UK, of course.
I mean,
I mean,
the son of the future king to be in
thing
a few decades is
is
going to be
George.
his name is George, of course.
George. So it's a huge name that it arrived here into Spain, the legend of San Jordi, of San Jorge, on the 11th, 12th century. Okay. 11th, 12th century, it's when it arrives into here. It's a moment where we're going to have the Crusaders, we're going to have all of these knights. It's the moment of the knights. And many of the knights, they have the emblem of San Jordi, of St. George. Okay.
Hmm.
St. George, it is the patron saint of the warriors, of, the defenders. Okay? So these legends about his life, and he's the one who kills the dragon, and it becomes a myth in Catalonia. And it's a beautiful myth that takes place. Obviously, as we said, it's not Catan, but we have Catalanized him. Okay, it's not
Hmm.
George, it's Jordi. And the thing is that San Jordi, what happens is that we have on a lake very close to Barcelona in a city called Mont Blanc.
Hmm.
Okay, this dragon lives there, and he demands to the people of the valley uh, virgin girls for him to eat them. Right?
Yeah. Well.
So every day they have to throw to the cave one virgin girl. So the dragon eats her, and he is with the issue that he's not going to kill or destroy the rest of the
Hmm.
village. Okay,
Hmm.
fine, good. The thing is that at the end they ran away. They ran out of virgin girls, but there's only one more, which is the princess. The princess. The king says, "Oh my God, my daughter is going to be killed." I guess the king didn't care for the other girls. It was only
Yeah,
his
of
girl.
course.
It's
Obviously,
like
yeah. Mm.
the drama has killed many of these girls. And then the father says, "Please, God, come and save my daughter." The thing is that this is the moment when San Jordi, San George appears. It's a big battle, and at the end, San Jordi kills the dragon. The dragon, the blood of the dragon, where the blood flows, all of these beautiful red roses appear. Okay, so this is the magnificent legend of San Jordi. Uh, it is such a huge legend here that, as you say, it's a patron saint, but also one of the most important artists that we have in Catalonia, Antonio Gaudí.
Yeah,
He
of course.
represented this battle in one of his most breathtaking, incredible. houses that he
Hmm.
did. Okay, so if anybody has been to Barcelona, you have obviously the Sagrada Familia, okay, the Holy Family, and then you have the two big houses. You have La Casa Batlló and Casa Milà, Milà La Pedrera, okay,
Yeah.
and the Casa Batlló, it's, I think, the most Instagram picture of Barcelona.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand the importance or the meaning of this house. Okay. And it is the representation of this myth, of this legend in stone and tile. And I think it's so beautiful. So, for the people, if you've never been to this house, if you've never been to the Batlló house, first of all, if let's go from inside out.
Yeah.
If you go inside of the house,
Hmm.
everything is related with water. Okay.
With what?
Water,
Oh, water.
the lake where this dragon
Yep.
lives in Mont Blanc.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. So, especially the inside courtyards, all of them are covered with blue tiles
Yeah, that's right.
and they are in a degradé
Yeah.
color. So, you have the different colors of the ocean and the windows that face that courtyard, they are blurred. So you don't see perfectly. It looks like water. It's
Watery. Yeah.
magnificent. It's like watery. So that's the inside of the house. Everything are curved lines. When you walk in the staircase, it looks
Absolutely.
like a
It's
spinal
beautiful.
cord.
It's
It's a
beautiful.
magnificent spinal cord that goes all, it's beautiful.
Mm.
That's in the inside. In the outside, what we see is the roof of the house. It is a perfectly drawn or designed dragon. Okay.
Hmm.
You have the eye, you have the hump where you see the scales. I mean, all the tiles,
Yeah.
they are the scales. And the chimney, it has the most famous cross designed by Gaudí.
The
Okay.
3D
And
cross,
that
you mean? The 3D
the
cross?
3D cross, there we go. That
Yeah.
has like from everywhere you see a cross. It's
Uh-huh.
magnificent.
Uh-huh.
And that symbolizes the sword that he has killed. Okay.
Ah.
Then the facade, all the balconies, they look like vertebrae or bones or femurs, or it's incredible. It is all the victims that he
Hmm.
has done. And right in the middle, all the way at the top, there's the smallest balcony, the one that a lot of people don't even appreciate, people don't see it. It has a shape of a rose.
Yeah.
Remember that from the blood, all these roses came out.
Yeah.
So it's a magnificent interpretation of this legend in stone and tiles. So to me, that building is, yes, the Sagrada Familia is incredible, but the houses are incredible. And this Casa Batlló, it's beyond beautiful. So the thing is, as we go on, one of the important things is that the day of Sant Jordi, it is the patron saint of Catalonia. Okay. And
Do
the
we know? Do
Catalans,
we know what day is that?
April 23rd.
Great.
Okay. It's in this week. Okay. April 23rd. It is, besides the day of Sant Jordi, it is the most important day for literature. Okay. According to UNESCO, April 23rd is the World Book Day.
Yeah, that's right.
Why is it, Jorge?
Okay. It's because two very well, actually, yeah. Let's put it this way: two very important writers from universal literature died on the same day.
It was April 23rd, 1616.
Yeah,
And the two writers were
William Shakespeare and Miguel de Cervantes.
probably
Can
the
I can I t-
most,
can I say a little curiosity about that?
yeah,
You know, the date is the same, but the day is not
it's not the
same,
same.
and you know why, right?
Well, at that time, the Brits, they didn't go by our calendar.
That's right. They were on the old calendar. I think it's the Julian calendar, and then we were already, because of the Rome influence and the proximity with Rome, we were under the Gregorian calendar. Okay,
So,
so there were like a few days difference. So the day was not the same, but the date it is the
so,
same.
so that's why UNESCO decided to have it as the day of books.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Catalans, they praise themselves of being big readers. Okay, the Catalan culture is very strong, very powerful, and this day there's a beautiful tradition. Okay, in Catalonia,
Yeah.
in Spain, everywhere you go, you're gonna find book fairs. Okay, and there's gonna be well, here in Pamplona a little book fair, but in Madrid a huge one, and in Barcelona one of the biggest ones in Spain. Madrid and Barcelona are the two big book fairs, and it is the day that by tradition, women give men a book
Hmm.
and men give women a rose,
Red rose,
a red rose. It is
the
mix,
color of the blood.
the color of the blood, the color of the roses that grew when
Yeah,
Sant Jordi killed the
that's right.
dragon.
Yeah.
This is a tradition. Obviously, now everybody gives a book and a rose. Okay, because it's like I want to get a rose too, not because I'm a guy. Just I love the book, but hey, also the rose. And my wife says, hey, I love books, so I want the rose and the book. So,
Extra money.
well, it's a symbol. And
That's right.
the day of Sant Jordi in Barcelona, I think I read is almost a 50% of the books of the novels sold in Catalonia are sold in this day,
Yeah,
one
that's right.
day.
Hmm.
Absolutely everybody buys one book for somebody. I mean, at the end of the day, I have some friends from Catalonia, and at the end of the day, you have like three, four, five new books, which I think is amazing
Hmm.
because, hey, you stack them and you read them along. But
True.
parents get books for the kids, and the godfather and the godmother gets for their goddaughter or godson. So it's a huge tradition of sharing literature, especially today that everything is goes technology wise, iPads and screens. The day of San Jordi, all of these books are presented in Barcelona. You have the best writers in Spanish literature in Barcelona signing books, and everybody buys a book and gives books. And I think it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Have you ever been, Jorge, to Barcelona
Oh
during the day of San
yeah,
Jordi?
yeah. Many times on working basis. I haven't gone in purpose because of the festivity. First, because it's not a holiday. Second, because I go to Barcelona quite enough times some of the year, and there's a lot of chances that I get there when there is the festivity. Um, a little curiosity about this, Francisco. Did you know that? Uh, Saint Jordi is, I don't want to say not a saint anymore, but it's out of the official Catholic calendar. Did you know that?
Well, he's not considered a saint anymore. He has been
Well,
changed. What is he now? It's like how can we? He has been descendant for the celestial court.
okay, let's clarify this because there is a lot of confusion about this issue. Okay,
Okay.
so Saint George hasn't been seized to be a saint, but the Catholic Church removed his feast from the universal liturgical calendar in 1969, I think it was, because there is no certain historical evidence about his life. This means that this festivity went from being obligatory or compulsory to being an optional memory that affected the official cult, but not the popular cult that continues to pay tribute to him in many places. Reasons for that decision? Well, it was in 1969, as I said, the church decided to revise the calendar of saints, and for those with little solid historical documentation about their lives, its official celebration was downgrading.
Downgrading.
Yep.
Okay. That's the word we were looking for. Downgrading.
Well,
Like, eesh.
there is a difference in all this bureaucracy regarding the
Yeah.
Catholic Church. The difference between the canonization and change in the calendar, it's important to clarify that St. George was not decanonized. So he still is a saint. Simply, the celebration of his holiday is no longer mandatory around the world. There is a popular worship and devotion, like we you have just mentioned, especially in Catalonia. But despite the liturgical decision, uh, the worship continues to be very strong and continues to be commemorated in as a holy martyr and symbol of courage, especially in places where he is the patron. So that's it certifies very much what you just said a few minutes ago.
So thanks for that acceleration because he's still a saint, but
Yeah,
he has been. It's like okay,
let's say second class saint.
there we go. It sounds
But the
horrible.
devotion, the devotion, and the
The
and the
devotions.
and everything else regarding that festivity is very, very rooted in many places. Yeah.
And in Catalonia, I think they take them even farther because it's also the national or the state day, state patron saint, and it's the day.
That's another thing that people were confused about it because it's a working day,
There we
but
go. It's a
the
working day.
celebration is so rooted that I remember the last time I was there, I made a clip, and I will let you know later on where you can find the clip. The I mean, you cannot walk on the streets because there's so many people. Almost everybody get their day off, their holidays to celebrate it with their family. That is the reason, one of the reasons why St. Valentine's Day is not celebrated in Catalonia. They changed the big celebration, which is not a holiday either. St. Valentine's is not a holiday. St. George is not a holiday in Catalonia, okay? But they decided, okay, what is more rooted in our cultural behavior, Saint Jordi, Saint George. So they decided to celebrate that without being a festivity or a bank holiday, if you want to call it that way. It's still a working day, but it feels like it is just an immense celebration.
It's an immense celebration. That's as a celebration of culture and love and all that. I love it, but it has a little twist, a political twist into it, and it's the day of the Diada. Okay, so what is the day of the Diada? Eh, let's go back to the guy, Franco. How many times do we talk about this guy on our podcast? During Franco times, the languages, the official languages in Spain that they were not Spanish, they were banned. In Spain, we speak, besides Spanish, Catalan, Basque, and Galician. They were banned, and that was the beginning of Basque separatist movement. I mean, the strength moment of the separatist movement. And the day of Sant Jordi, it was, I don't want to say a masqueraded way of saying, yay, we can still talk about Catalan with Franco without Franco knowing. That was the beginning of it. Things that when Franco died and democracy came and all of these, and the separatist movement took strength, it's when you're going to find a lot of, besides the book and the roses, you are going to go in Barcelona and you're going to find a lot of demonstrations. Okay. They're going to be peaceful, loud. In Spain, we love to demonstrate. Okay. So for our listeners, if you see a demonstration in Spain, 99% chances that is going to be nice and peaceful. And it's going to be fun. And by the way, in Spain, if you are going to demonstrate, you have to ask permission to the police. You cannot demonstrate just by it. Okay. You have to be escorted in the front and on the back by the police. Right. So everything is very regulated where the paths have to go. So we don't have any problems or anything. So there are going to be demonstrations pro Catalonian separatism. Okay. So it's a day that, yes, is political, but the most important thing, it is the magnificent tradition of culture and love.
Well, Francisco, just imagine how big is St. George in Barcelona. Okay. Uh,
Jorge,
yeah,
so, sorry,
yeah.
if I'm not wrong, did I say that the day of the Diada, it is April 23rd? If I
Uh,
say that the day of the Diada is September 11,
yeah.
what happens
Hmm.
on the day of the San Jordi is that Franco did not allow people to celebrate the day of the Diada on
Hmm.
September.
Yeah.
So they used this day that Franco allowed the cultural movement, okay, just the read books. So people from Catalonia started demonstrating. So the demonstrations take place from this origin. The day of the Diada, the big Catalonian day, is September 11th.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, okay. So what you mean is that because when Franco, he didn't allow those demonstrations because of the pro-independence, people,
Mhm.
locals took advantage on the 23rd of April that it was allowed
Yeah.
to made a kind of a spontaneous. shows
Yeah.
about the independent
Or
Catalonia.
the Catalonian movement.
Okay,
Let's not call
perfect.
independent because it
Well,
was,
thank
yeah.
you for
Okay.
clarifying that. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah. Okay, so what else do you have to say about this beautiful tradition, Fran?
I think that's all I wanted to share with
Mm.
our listeners about this tradition of Sant Jordi that is so rooted in Catalonia.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you seen my clip in YouTube, Francisco?
I have.
Yeah.
It's the clip you did about the day of Sant Jordi.
That's correct. Yeah,
And in,
and just to be precise, I'm sorry guys, but I have to look in the in my YouTube channel. By the way, it's called Traveling with Jorge. That's the YouTube channel, and the Saint Jordi is there is a clip there. It's called Saint George in Catalonia, not an ordinary day. That is a very small clip I made. It takes about 11 minutes and shows how busy are the streets. And that was recorded. I think it was like about a couple of years ago, maybe. And no, last year. Yeah, correct. Last
well,
year,
a few
20,
months
whatever,
ago,
last year.
whenever.
And it was on the very same day. I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware because in the rest of Spain, St. George is just another day, okay? But not in Catalonia. And then suddenly I went out and I found that, oh, what is happening in here? So I realized, wait a minute, today's my Saint's Day. Oh, yeah. Saint
Sant
Jordi,
Jordi!
Saint George. So everything was so, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I saw. Hundreds of people, not hundreds, zillions of people around in the street. I said, "Well, it's a working day." And then I just asked one of the stands that they were selling roses in every corner, right? And then they told me that we're selling like about 3,000 roses per, I mean, that specific day. There is a very famous market in Barcelona also that sells only plants and flowers, and that is a huge big day for that market. So that
Yeah.
is the clip. If you want to go into Traveling with Jorge YouTube channel, that's where you can find that. And
Oh,
also, I do
there we
have
go.
a
I want to
tour.
ask you something very special because, yes,
Yeah.
but what is the best way to discover Catalonia, Jorge?
Well, because of logistics, I'm not there with my tour in St. George. I love to, but no, it's practically impossible because I mean most of the hotels are booked, etc., and some of the logistics things. But yeah, I do have a tour. It's 9 days in sleeping in the same hotel in Barcelona, central Barcelona, and then we do 1 day the city, 1 day out, 1 day the city, 1 day out, 1 day the city, 1 day out until the tour is over, and we visit very out of the paths, some of them. Obviously, the blockbusters are included, like it could be, not a visit to Casa Batlló, but we can see from the outside, but we will see the Sagrada Familia as well, Meta Gaudí, and also many other places in the city of Barcelona, sleeping in the same hotel every single night and day trips. So, guys, the dates are for, I mean, it's already out there. Um, my tours, Francisco, my tours are selected in the number of seats, minimum five, maximum 10. And it's going to be like a little bunch of friends going around having lots of fun. Thank you for mentioning
Uh,
that earlier. Thank you.
and Jorge, I mean, the tour is so well designed,
Uh-huh.
and people knows that one of the important things is gastronomy. Spanish gastronomy is very special,
Oh,
and in
yeah.
your tour, I mean, you have some of the best food in Catalonia.
That's
I think
true.
it's
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely. I think that when you think with a cold mind about every time you go on vacation or holidays, to me, gastronomy is part of the entire experience. I mean,
It's
you
culture.
might need your salad. I'm not saying you don't, but if you do have the experience of being in the place, eating the local things, things from the season, the typical things that you eat by the water, the typical things that you can eat at the mountains in the same area, I think that adds an extra bonus to the entire whole experience. I know you do that in your tours,
Yeah.
and you know that I do that also in my. I take my food very seriously in
Oh,
my tours.
yes.
Okay.
And for our listeners, something very important you need to remember when we travel, calories don't count.
That's true. That's
Like
true.
magic, they don't count.
Everything is carb-free, sugar-free, no calories.
Nothing,
Yeah, nothing at all.
But anyway, you can find this magnificent tour in Jorge's website, which is travelingwithjorge.com.
That's right.
Jorge, anything else we need to add about this Sant Jordi
No, I
day?
just want to thank you so much because you have enlightened us so well about the life of Saint George, and ever again, I do not get tired of saying this. Our specialist in saints and everything related to church, Francisco Glaria. Big applause, big hand for him. Yeah.
You fool. Anyway,
Francisco,
Jorge,
thank
everybody.
you very much for your input in all this. And guys out there, if you're watching this video on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe in any other audio platforms. Thank you so much for your loyalty. And Francisco and everybody else, we'll be back here next week. Thank you.
We love you all. See you next week.
Bye-bye. And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast. No spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.